Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Contemplation with Kristof, number 2, the new series within the Kristof Lewis podcast, where it's just me talking about the conversation for the week and any other topic that comes up on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. If I see something that comes up a lot or something that is a big issue for somebody, I really want to talk about it. So where do you find me? You can find me on Instagram at Kristof Lewis, Kristof Lewis. So what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to go over conversation number 45 with Andy Dane Carter. I'm going to talk about family. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into helping others, building a legacy, and being financially free. Separate from that, which I'm going to dive into first, is a topic that came up about routines. I post daily, 7 days a week, my morning routine, but something that I don't really see get talked about a lot is a night routine. And I do have a night routine, and I think it's equally as important as the morning because it sets the tone for the morning. So before we get into any of that, if you're interested in making a career change, if you're not happy with what you're doing, literally everything I do on Instagram is geared towards showing you examples of people, via these conversations that I have with everyone, these conversations with inspirational people. All of these conversations, all of my posts, everything is geared towards setting an example, showing you how to find a job or a career that you love and how to make money doing it. So if you are interested in speaking more about that, I'd love to talk to you one-on-one. Email me at Kristof@KristofLewisPodcast.com. Night routines. Why are they important? They are important, and I don't see them getting talked about. I see a lot of people posting about morning routines, and I think that's great. I think morning routines are great. They should be done every single morning. But a night routine complements your morning routine. It sets you up for success. Now, mine isn't as strict as my morning routine in regards to execution of events by the minute. I wake up at 4:45 a.m. I don't snooze. The second thing I do is I meditate. The third thing I do is I sit in gratitude. The fourth thing I do is I go over my goals for the day and for the week. But in regards to the night, what do I do? And I said, it's not as strict as what I do in the morning, but it is very important because you want to set yourself up for success. If I learned anything in the military, I learned that you needed to be prepared, that you wanted to do the work now. Essentially, not procrastinate. Do the work now to save yourself the hassle later, save yourself the stress later. So this is a tangent point. To mitigate risk is to do things now, prepare now, make sure things in your life are ready now, taken care of now, do it now, so that you don't have to do it later. So, for an example, in the military, I was always prepping gear for the next whatever I was doing. I would not go out and do something if my gear wasn't checked, if my radios weren't checked, if I didn't do a radio call to home base. If I didn't do any of these things, I would never pick up my gear and then go out in the middle of the night and just assume that my gear worked right. So what I did do was I always had my bags packed. I checked them 3-4 times. I always had my radios checked. I checked them 3-4 times. So I give you this example, this real life example. Now, you can do it at night. Now, this is exactly what you're going to do at night, and this is exactly what I do at night. Things I do, very simple things that everybody does, and I'm sure a lot of people do this and don't realize it, but I believe that it's mandatory to be able to set myself up, to be able to execute flawlessly in the morning, which thus sets myself up for success for the rest of my day, leading into the rest of my life. Things I do at night, I food prep. So food prepping actually gets done on the weekends. On Sundays, my wife and I will do a food prep for the week. However, in regards to the night before, I will make sure it's packed away. I'll get my snacks ready for the gym, like my little breakfast that I have for the gym, and I just eat an apple on the way to the gym. And then I will make sure my protein is packed and mixed for the gym, and I also have my clothes for work so I can shower at the gym and then go straight to work. Literally everything is geared towards making the most out of my time. So I prepare these things beforehand so I don't have to worry about them in the morning. So think about this, like I wake up at 4:45 a.m. All I need to focus on in the moment is not snoozing, getting out of bed, and going to my next evolution and my next evolution and my next evolution. So I know that when I leave the house at 5:08, I will be on the gym floor ready to work out at 5:30. I have it planned down to the minute so I can do it every single morning, and it becomes habitual. I'm not really thinking about it at this point. I'm just waking up and getting things done. I wake up out of bed, I come to my office, I do all those things I just described to you. I'm getting dressed for the gym. I go downstairs, my gym bag and my work bag already packed right next to the door. I go into the refrigerator, grab my food, put it in my bags, and I'm off. So very, very important. Another thing I do that I actually stole from Evan Carmichael, who is actually on the conversations in conversation number 21. I do a lights off at 9 p.m. and it's essentially candle time. So this helps calm my brain down, just calm me down and get ready for bed, especially since I'm getting up so early, but I still get to bed around anywhere from honestly 10 to 11. I'm really not asleep until that late, so I still get some good sleep in, but it's not what you would think. A lot of people say, hey, you get up early, you're probably going to bed at 8 p.m., but that's not the case. So number one, lights are off at 9 p.m. I just have candles. Great for my eyes and it's great for my brain. I'm not going to have my phone in my bed. More importantly, I don't want to look at the screen because it's just going to keep your mind activated. Literally having that phone in your hand and looking at the screen and scrolling and doing whatever you're doing is just going to release all those good feelings in your head, and it's just going to keep you awake. So put the phone down. The phone doesn't belong in the bed. Just read in your bed. More importantly, to help you do two things at once, you could put the phone across the room so that when you wake up in the morning, you actually have to wake up and go across the room to get your alarm, and you won't have it in the bed at night when you go to bed. So I think you guys should definitely try to do this. Do the morning routine if you're serious about seeing a break in your mental plateau, and do a night routine to ensure that you are setting yourself up for the morning. And it's, to me, everything is not like on a strict timeline schedule at night. I just ensure that I get these things done, and then by 9 p.m. I'm calming down and I'm ready to get to bed. So let's talk about conversation number 45 with Andy Dane Carter. I really enjoy this conversation, and I truly do look up to the guy. He does a lot of things that I absolutely love, and one of the things that I hit on in the conversation is about making your family a priority before you go out on the hunt, as Andy describes it. Essentially, calming your mind, being at one with yourself and at your family, and everything at home is okay before you go out into the world and you go do your job. Because I know that if I go out and I try to do my job, or let's say this podcast, if I try to record a podcast but I'm thinking about, man, things aren't right with my wife right now, and all I can think about is the last thing I said to her and how I wish I didn't say that, and I wish things were good between us, then I'm not going to be focused on what I'm talking to you guys about, and it's just going to be a crappy podcast. And if you listen to enough of these, you probably know if I'm half-assing it or if something else is on my mind. So being able to get your family straight and make it a priority, so making your family a priority, is absolutely crucial before you step foot out into the world and achieve success. It's all about being at peace in your mind and with your family. Number two, why and how we should help others. I talk about this all the time, and most importantly, I say this all the time. This is why I've created the podcast. A huge pillar that it stands upon is helping others. I want to learn myself. I want to continue to learn myself. I want other people to learn, and I want us all to help each other. If we learn things, we should not keep them to ourselves. We should constantly be evolving and learning ourselves and constantly be teaching other people, because there's always something that you can teach somebody else, and there's always something that somebody else can teach you. Don't ever approach any kind of relationship in your life, anybody you meet in your life, and think that they don't have something to teach you, because they've had X amount of years of experience. They've lived their own life. You have no idea what they've done, and I guarantee you there's something that they've experienced that they can help you with. with. Number 3, building a legacy. I loved when Andy talked about building a legacy. It was something that I really just didn't think about when I was podcasting, especially now with a daughter. To me, it just means so much. Like her, when she's old enough to be able to comprehend all of these podcasts that I've done, all these conversations I've had with people, seeing the evolution of her father over all these conversations, over all these contemplations, all of these things, these insights. It's like having a journal is great, and handing that journal down to your children so they can maybe read about your life for the good and the bad. I'm able to have all these podcasts all the time, and she's able to go learn about her dad, and God forbid, like Andy said, I get hit by a bus tomorrow, that she's going to be able to go and listen to her father forever. And to me, that's truly a beautiful thing that he said, and it goes back to point number 1 about making your family priority. And this is why I love Andy, because he is so family oriented, and it came out in so many topics. Number 4, what does financially free mean to you? A lot of people have a dollar amount in their head, and that's fine. I think you should have a dollar amount in your head. I think if you don't have a dollar amount in your head, you should probably write it down. But I want you to understand why you've come up with that. So think about, what amount do you need per month to survive? So how much do you make in your job right now? How much would it take to quit that job, especially if you don't like it? Start already thinking about this. If you haven't thought about it, now's a good time. As I'm talking, get out your phone, get out a piece of paper and pencil, and write down how much it will take you to quit your job. Because if you don't like what you're doing right now, I guarantee you then you want to find another job. And how do you do that? You got to figure out these things first. Especially if you want to work for yourself, you got to figure out how much money it's going to take. But to me, I can answer this question to you. What does financially free mean to me? It means my time. And why time? Because time is the only thing that I cannot make more of. Whatever it is for you, I would write that down. Again, I'm a huge advocate of writing things down, but go ahead and write down what financially free means to you. If it's a dollar amount, then that's great, but work backwards and figure out how much it will take a month, a year, and so on. You have to figure out some numbers. You have to get some things down in front of you so you actually know what to work towards. Don't just have this, I want to make $1 million or $10 million in your head. Don't just have that, but write down your goals so you have something that you can go after. So that's what I got for you guys this week. Remember, night routines, they are absolutely important. They set you up for success for the morning. And morning routines are extremely important to set the tone for the day. Make your family a priority. You should help other people. Don't keep information to yourself. Think about building a legacy with whatever you're doing. And this goes back to your career. Are you doing something that you're proud of, to me, honestly, like, would my daughter look up to me and be like, I am proud of what he's doing, or he worked so hard, my father worked so hard to do what he wanted? I want her to know that. I want her to know that I did everything I possibly could to do what I loved, and that I tried to have other people do the same. And the last thing is, what does financially free mean to you? And as I always say, this all ties together. This all complements each other. Remember, you can find me on Instagram at Kristof Lewis, KRISTOFLEWIS. I post daily. I'm hyper active on direct messages. I will talk to you if you write me. I love hearing back from you how we can improve things, what you do, what you don't like. And if you do enjoy it, please rate 5 stars on iTunes and comment and tell me what you love about it. Thanks so much for listening to Contemplation number 2, and make sure you check out the conversation for this week as well, and that will be recapped the following week. I really appreciate all of the feedback I get here, and I know that it is making an impact because you all absolutely, without a doubt, reciprocate everything to me. Like, when I get a comment or when I get a direct message that says, hey, I tried this or I tried that and it worked, I love that. And that's what it's about. All right, guys, it's about time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you check out the conversation for the week, and I hope you have the best day ever. See ya.